Get ready to enter the Thrive Time Show.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get here. Started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom, now we here.
We started from the bottom, now we're on the top. Teaching you the systems to get what we got. Colton Dixon's on the hooks, I break down the books. Z's bringing some wisdom and the good looks. As the father of five, that's why I'm alive. So if you see my wife and kids, please tell them hi. It's the C&Z up on your radio. And now 3, 2, 1, here we go.
We started from the bottom, now we here. We started from the bottom and we'll show you how to get.
So like in our video team, we were building the Thrive team. I think we had, I don't know how many guys. We probably had 15 dudes that we would have come up here to shoot. And some guys would be like, oh yeah, I really want the job. I'm awesome. And you're like, cool. Then you say, well, hey, your resume looks good. I called your references. You made it through that. So let's go ahead and have you shadow. They're like, really? Yeah, I'll pay you to do a shoot this weekend. Let's do it. Let's book it. Let's go. Fast. Shadow me. Is that pot? That smells like pot. It's not me. It's not him. It's not her. You smell like pot. Are you smoking pot? My roommates smoke pot. So you don't smoke pot, but your roommates do. Yeah, okay, you're fired. Next one. And you just move on. Right. And because you have a weekly interview, you don't have a problem with this. Dr. Zellner, who's the CEO of Thrive, one of our bigger investors, he, imagine trying to hire doctors. Oh gosh, people think, well, doctors, those are easier because they have a degree and they're, oh no. But he's found good ones. But did you guys see the episode where he talks about the doctor who tried to screw him over? Did you see about this?
Yes.
Oh yeah. So this doctor, waits until he only has 3 doctors at that time. So one of the doctors puts in a 2-week notice, and so now he's down to 2 doctors. And so one of the doctors who's left is like, hey, I know it's a bad time, but since this person's leaving, I would like a raise or I'm going to leave too. Well, because Dr. Z always does group interviews and weekly, he always does week interview. Every week he does interviews. As soon as he found another guy, he walked up to the guy who basically blackmailed him and said, hey, Holmes, you're gone. Was able to fire him with confidence. And that's how you need to run your business. But if you do the peak and valley system of recruiting where you only recruit when you need it, that stinks.
Yeah, it does.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So really for you guys, what it looks like is we just lost 5 hours a week to specific meetings. Okay, let's review those meetings, okay, so we don't miss anything. Meeting 1 is accounting, right? And when's that going to be?
Monday morning at 7 a.m.
Boom. Then we have our motivation meeting at Monday at 8:30. Then we have our workflow meeting on Tuesdays at
5.
Okay, and you got your agendas, and you can always add to them. We're going to give you a digital copy, but you're going to want to have those agendas. Mm-hmm. Then you have a group interview on Wednesdays at
12.
Okay, we have a Thursday marketing meeting at
5.
Right. We got our date night. Boom, boom. Mm-hmm. Okay. Now, what's awesome, guys, is when you do this. During my workday, I'm hard charging, bam. But then when I come home, I will go to Sprouts because I told my daughter I would take her there, and that's where I'm going. So because I've got it ordered, I know that the entire day I'm using the best use of my time. I've already sat down and planned my day, and I just go in hard charging. And on a scale of 1 to 10, I can honestly say I'm about a 10. And that's how you're going to feel too. And the whole day, you're going to be just, and when you get home, you can go on a date because you know that but the problem is there's a difference between thinking time and doing time. So the thinking is you were in the military, and I certainly cannot relate to that. I don't want to compare business to war, but just to give an example, one of the gentlemen who I met in D.C., he was sharing with me some World War II stories. Mm-hmm. And he was sharing me his experiences with Normandy and all these, I can't even imagine that, But he was like, when that situation happens, you cannot think. You're just doing what you've been told. And I talked to an Air Force pilot, and his plane had crashed, but he'd survived. And I was like, how do you eject? And he's like, well, if you have to think about it, you're dead. But during training, we've done it so much that if this happens, this is what you do and you eject. And that's how I survived. So that's how you want to become with your business. During the day, I don't even think really during my day. I'm just going. I think times like this, where I plan, And then during the day, I just do. And that's going to be the biggest thing, is making sure that we're executing this plan.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Awesome.
So then do we schedule in planning time?
Well, these should be your planning times. So this is like, it's planning, but just about the subject of marketing.
Okay. So like I need to schedule in time to have the stuff ready for the accounting meeting.
And each week you'll begin to, it'll get better. It's just the first 90 days. Guys, I went like 3 years without having meetings. Oh, it's craziness. But once you start setting consistent times, it gets a lot easier. So right now, like I know we have a staff meeting for Thrive every 7 a.m. on Friday. And then 8 we have our web meeting, and at 9 we have and at 10 we have a strike. Right now this morning I had about I emailed you, I had like 3 people that had emailed the content ideas. So I asked you to add it to the content sheet. I won't even think about that until I go into our content planning meeting, which is at a set time.
Right.
Make sense?
Yeah.
I have an employee question.
Yeah, go for it.
Well, don't get too excited.
Yeah, I'm ready. I'm ready.
Okay, you said you've worked with construction people a
Yeah, a
lot.
lot.
Okay, typically, and well, I'm not going to say typically. It's been our experience that it's sometimes difficult to find quality employees
True.
in our field.
Yep. You want help on that?
Yeah, I need help
Less
on that.
than stellar backgrounds.
Awesome. Well, here's what you do. On here, and this will be one more thing to add if that's something you're dealing with. So let's go ahead and add it here, okay? You're going to want to set up a weekly group interview time. So when's the time on here we could have a group interview? Oh, well, it'll make sense in just a minute. When's the time we could do it?
We could do it Wednesday at...
Is night when most people want to come by and do an interview with your industry, or during the day?
No.
Wednesday during the day?
Wednesday during the day would...
Like Wednesday at noon?
Yeah.
Okay, let me just walk you through this. This will be the group interview, okay? I would say that you have as much of an issue in your industry as you do with DJs. So guys like, I want to be a DJ, I'm 45. It's usually like, whoa. So same thing. Now I was a DJ, I'm mocking myself, but really it's like a carnival roundup. It's a weird deal. So what you do is you say, all right, anybody who applies online. And by the way, you never stop doing this. So I'm going to give this to you right now so you can do this, okay? Every week for the rest of your lives, every week, forever, I would put a post up on Craigslist, on Facebook, Indeed, LinkedIn, if possible, Monster.com. Every week. It says, we're now looking for highly motivated, highly skilled individuals who are looking to do. The phone rings. Boop, 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 boop. Hello, thank you for calling. This is, I was calling about the job. Hey, we have an interview this Wednesday at 12. Love you to be there. Love for you to be there. Well, I can't do Wednesdays at 12. Well, that's our time we have available, but I'd love for you to. So you send them all to one set time. It's in your calendar. And then in construction, I've got one guy I'm working with right now whose biggest limiter he thought was marketing, but really it's hiring people. The other guy honestly had an issue with marketing. He actually can hire as many people as possible. He does not have an issue. This right here is the difference between those two guys. This guy who has all the employees he ever needs, he's awesome at this. But you invite him in, you have a situation like this, maybe you have Panera or something set up, and you say, hey guys, our company, we don't have a problem getting jobs, we're just looking for some quality people. And so let me share with you the values of what our company has, the values. And I want to take this time, there's 3 of you applying for this job, and we've got other people applying too, but I want to know what your goals are. And you hear him talk. And you try to find the person whose goals align themselves most with your values. And then you say, I'm just picking up an example, I'd say, Spence, you look like my guy. However, I don't know. You don't know, I don't know. So I'm going to go ahead and have you shadow for the next 2 weeks. You'll be paid. You'll be doing some work with the boss directly. If we like you, we'll continue. But just assume at the end of 2 weeks, you're fired. Just work off that assumption. Because what I want you to do is do these values. And if you do these values, you get the job. But let's just go ahead. So you save this whole BS zone of endless reference checks and all that. But the big thing I would do is I would take all their resumes and all I would do is I would call their references. That'll save you a ton of time. Now the next part is, what can we do better? We're not attacking people, we're attacking performance. Home Skillet, here's a picture of your window you installed. Hey. Here's a survey of a customer that's not upset. You read it. Or if the customer is upset, you read it. Everyone's like, oh, this is a downer. It's a bad meeting. And you're like, now guys, what we're going to talk about today is we're going to talk about these survey results. We're going to talk about the numbers. We're going to talk about the numbers. So don't get personally injured. This is the good, this is the bad. Now we're going into numbers. Now this week, this is how many jobs we did. This is how many customers we had. This is gross sales. People need to know. By the way, at Disney, they know. At Disney, the employees know the share price. They know the revenue. Southwest, they know. Quick Trip, they know. They know the revenue per store. All the managers know how much revenue per store. It's not like it's a secret. Okay? Okay? And people are like, well, what if people know and they take my business? As a general rule, in a well-run organization with great processes, most people are like, look at the CEO and they're like, that's a crazy man or a crazy woman. I would never want that job. Okay? Napoleon Hill talks about the penalty of leadership. But my car, usually I'm always the first one in this building, first one here. If I'm not, people know, they'll get emails from me at 3 in the morning. They know that I'm going. So most people will, I've talked to a lot of folks who will go, I would never want your job. I'm happy with mine. So if you have a good process, you don't have to feel like people are going to take your business from you and all that stuff. Don't worry about it. Now, go over the survey results. Then we go over skill training. You say, this week, we all need to improve on this. And that's where you guys become the teacher. You teach your staff. Maybe you teach them what you're learning. And every week, you get better and better. And pretty soon, you've got guys who've been with you 7 years, 8 years, gals who've been with you 10 years. And if you look at the number one reasons why people stay at a job, it's 3 things, and I'll give them to you. Okay? And it really doesn't matter. You can Google this and look up all these research and stuff, but there's 3 reasons why people stay at jobs, okay? 1 is because they really, really like their boss or the culture. They like the boss or the culture. They go, gosh, you know what? My boss is weird, and he puts pictures up everywhere of people and quotes. There's so many quotes in our building, it's disturbing. He's kind of a bizarre creature, but I like the culture. I like the people here. The second is ongoing education. People love to know they're getting better this year than last year. Now, way down there at the bottom is compensation. So this is what's crazy. When you look at the data, you can get these books on how to motivate your staff, how to manage. You'll find that people, when there's no vision, it doesn't matter how much money you pay them, they're pissed. I got one doctor I met with about 4 years ago. He could not keep a front desk lady. This is his philosophy. You tell me why this was flawed. He would offer above market pay and would never talk to them.
No feedback.
So what he would do is he'd say, hey, text me your daily reports. I pay you better than everybody else. Just get it done. He could not keep somebody. Now, I got another doctor I know who pays people about the same as market value, maybe a little bit less. But he took his whole staff with him to Mexico this year as their big bonus. When they got to their goal, he took the whole staff to Mexico. He does employee ongoing training. They all dressed up for Halloween. It's a fun culture. Everyone high fives each other a lot. They've got kind of this, every week he has a weekly staff meeting. And his staff makes less than other people. But the people have been there for 10 years. So it's just, we got to make sure we do this. So these are the 4 meetings that have to happen every single week. And if you do this, so in theory, you prepared before the accounting meeting for the meeting. So you have those numbers. So let's say that we owned a hair salon. I'd go, well, this is how many people's haircuts we did this week. This is how much revenue we brought in. I'd go over those kind of things.
Okay.
But your staff needs to know. Now, there are many people who don't believe they should know. And I would encourage you to look at the business models that are the most successful. UPS, Outback Steakhouse, Quick Trip, Disney World. The world's best businesses, almost all of them have a level of transparency about their revenues. Now the final meeting four, is a motivational meeting. Now, my main man, Zig Ziglar, talks a lot about this. And Marshall, if you can put the quote on there. Zig Ziglar talks about taking a bath. And he explains that like you have to take a bath every week. In fact, every day usually. But you just do, even though you took one yesterday, you gotta take one today, and then you took one yesterday, but you took one today, and then tomorrow, and then you just keep doing that. But for some reason with our employees, because you're motivated for two reasons. One is entrepreneurs who wake up every day, it's like we're being chased by an animal. So we have a little bit of fear mixed with ambition, and we are magically always motivated. So Birdman, our fabulous videographer here, he's a guy who's part of the Thrive ownership team, you know, so he's invested his own money into it. And magically, like, he really gives a crap because his money is where his mouth is. So he's like, holy, things are starting to cost too much around here, you know, because he starts to get a bill. Spence starts to go, hey, things are costing some money. Now, if they didn't have ownership as a general rule, they'd be like, well, we need to buy that. And I'm like, you do? Yep. And it would just be like a blanket, like, we need to buy that. We need to buy that. But as ownership, it's like, can we just duct tape it? You know, so it's that motivation thing. Now, employees do not share in your success usually, and they do not share in your motivation because they are not scared if it doesn't work out. One employee I almost ripped his face off on Monday. I was so mad. He's kind of a newer person. They made this statement. They're like, well, we don't need to talk about it now. We can figure it out. So I pull him aside with just love, and I said, hey, every time you say we don't need to think about it now, we'll figure it out. We is your boss or me. So we are not going to figure it out later. You are going to figure it out now because, you know, but it's just it's a disconnect between the employee who's like, well, it's my birthday, can I take off? And the entrepreneur who's like, you mean on the day of my birth I had the biggest bill of my life? I mean, it's just two different worldviews. So we've got to schedule a weekly meeting for team motivation. So when is our meeting when we meet with, and it might just be you and a dude, cool. But we got to have a weekly meeting where we kumbaya, we connect. When is our weekly meeting for motivation?
Wednesday? I don't know if Friday's a good day for that. Do you?
Motivational, I think Monday.
Motivational Monday. Okay, now we might feel like, man, my day is not going to even start until, well, let's forget for a second. Currently, we know how much you two can do. I'm not going to question your work ethic at all. But if you can go from me to we, that's how you win. So these things that will seem like a distraction are actually what's going to create the most action. Okay, we got to do that. So the motivational meeting, what we do, Proverbs, where there's no vision, the people perish. Well, I don't like Proverbs. I don't believe in the Bible. Okay, fine. Then you'd say Jack Welch talks a lot about how employees, if they don't decide if they don't decide their destiny, somebody else will. You know, in the corporate world, I mean, if you're not pig-headed about it, this is the job I want someday, someone's going to put you in a different job. So you got to be really intentional. What I'm saying, though, is that Jack Welch or Proverbs both agree that no one just drifts to success. There's got to be some sort of big vision, some sort of big plan. There's got to be, and your employees have to know. So here's how your employee meeting should go from 8:30 to 9:30 on Mondays, okay? We say, all right, guys, this week, what did we do well? I'll tell you what we did well. I've got surveys in. Gary, you are a winner chicken dinner. This is what this lady just said about your window install. And you read it. And everyone's like, oh, awesome, Gary. In a small business, it's usually like 3 to 5 people. So at first it's awkward. It's fine. And then she's like, good job, man. Also, other good stuff. This week on our Dream 100, a little status update, we landed 1 referral. All right, yeah. And this week, oh yes, we had our customer service workflow meeting and we now have fixed this, and so moving forward, we'll never have this problem again. Yeah. And it gets better. We did some accounting and we have discovered that we actually made a profit this week. A profit like we're reenacting the Bible. There's profits everywhere. So because you work here and we care, we're going to share. And so you don't have to do this, but this is how I would do it. We're going to do a little profit share. So you made $100 extra this week, so $10 to you, boom, awesome. Or however you want to do it. So it's all good. Woo, good stuff. Do you guys currently have a system where you database anything? Like, what's your move?
Not really.
Okay, I'm going to help you with the most
As
basic.
far as customers.
Cool. I'm going to help you with the most basic databasing system you can. And I did this caveman databasing until like 6 years into business. So these are moves you can do. One is all you'll need to do is just to create a spreadsheet with the customer's name, okay? With their name, the service, the total price. I'm trying to give you these different fields. Email, the phone, and notes. So all you do is anytime you land a new customer, and the deal goes through, you just add it to their name, their service, their numbers, their email, their phone, their notes. And then what you do is that becomes your mailing list, your marketing list, your ongoing. Now, that's a great way just at first for you to work with them. And what you'll do is you'll put on there, because we talk about wowing them, you'll add to that step 1, step 2, step 3, and you'll just put check marks in it when you've done those things. Like put the date, like we did it on 9/23, 9/30, 9. And that's caveman database. I've done that for years. It's totally fine. Now, if you're going, hey, I don't mind, I want to go a little bit more than that. I'm not threatened by technology, but I'm not a nerd. I'm not going to write my own software, but I want something that's easy out of the box. The best system that there is, in my mind, is ACT. It's ACT. And it syncs up with your QuickBooks, and it allows you to make your own fields. So you can put the whole C family here. Under 2, you can choose industry, Windows or home remodel. You can put notes like how you knew them. You can put the phone number, and you can customize it. And I promise you that if you can operate Microsoft Word, you can do it. ACT. And that's going to be like $30 a month. So I would recommend you would go to that.
Okay.
They have web-based and they have in the box. I recommend web-based though. So like do you have my phone? I do. Sorry. But in my phone, thanks buddy. In my phone, like when a customer reaches out to me, like let's say I'm trying to reach somebody who's in the media, okay? Everyone's sorted by media. So if I want to get a hold of like the Today Show or Channel 2 or 6 or anybody who's in the media, these are all media people. They're all in there. Or if I'm trying to find like a web guy, I can just type in web, and these are all the different web developers that are on my phone. Okay. So it allows me to get stuff done really fast.
So you're just putting realtor.
Yeah. And ACT is really, really easy. And to help you guys, if you get ACT, I'll have Marshall help you do it. We'll assign Marshall to spend an afternoon with you.
Okay.
And he can help you do that.
Sorry, Marshall.
Boom. I love it. But ACT is really easy, I promise. If I can do it, you can do it. It's great.
So if I'm talking to a home seller that is going to closing, and I know we're going to be dealing with the new owners, do I ask the home seller, hey, could I get your new address so I could send you something?
I
would. Or, how would you even say that?
I would move beyond, can I? I would just go, hey, what's your new address? I wanted to send you a thank you gift.
Okay, awesome. Because a lot of times people are kind of like, like even asking for their email address.
Well, it's part of your process.
Okay.
It's a process. So as an example, who here, you guys rented a car recently?
Yes.
I rent a car every week because I'm always traveling somewhere. So you go in, the guy says, hey, do you guys want to, get this insurance? You go, no. Enterprise, the guy in Colorado, he gets me. Awesome. This guy, he says, I love this guy. Enterprise guy in Colorado's the boss. He says, now, sir, we have this coverage or this coverage. Which one is best for you? And I'm like, well, I already have insurance through Farmers. And he's like, well, I just want to say this to you. If you get in an accident driving this vehicle, this is what happens for most people. This is how much, he explains the process. Your insurance company is going to be notified. They probably won't pay because of whatever. They always will contest it. A lot of times they do. Then you got to go, probably spend couple hours on the phone back and forth doing paperwork. If it's in the state of Colorado, you might have to provide proof of who got in the accident with you, like who the driver of their car was. You probably got to call them. Probably got to do all that. And it, and that might be worth it to you, but for $20 a day, you don't have to deal with it. So he gets me. So anyway, I talked to the guy and I said, guy, I pull him aside. I said, guy, this was one of the most spectacular sales moves I've ever witnessed. What is your deal? And he's like, I go, you get commission? He's like, oh yeah. And these guys at Enterprise are making like crazy commission for doing the moves. But he didn't ask me, did I want it? A or B, which one? So that's how you want to do it. You're like, hey, as part of our quality control thing, I need your email so I can get you your final receipt. And then what's your address so I can send you a little thank you gift? Well, I don't want to give it out. Well, it's part of our process. We just want to make sure you're taken care of. You just kind of put it in the system. Okay. That cool?
Yeah.
But you know what? If you follow these rules in this book and you think about it, you'll find that people are more than likely to share before and after photos. They're more than likely to share money savings ideas, and they're more likely to share stories. You know what I mean? But you want to build a system through Hootsuite where you can decide in that meeting. So the rest of the week, I want to just show you real quick. I'm going to see the magic here. You're not thinking about social media all week. It's not like mind clutter. You just think about it on Tuesdays at 5 or Thursdays at 5. You think about it then you're good. But in small business, we got so many things we're trying to do that nothing gets done. So we've got to be really intentional with that. Does that make sense? So the next thing we need to talk about each week, okay? We have 4 meetings, okay? Next thing we talk about is our public relations. Again, in our marketing meeting, is there a PR story we want to do this week? And you'll just make an agenda. But like when you guys were helping out with Keith, I mean, that's a kid with nonverbal cerebral palsy. You guys were really doing a lot of help. Might be a good time to send out a press release. Tell the media of what you're doing, and I'll walk you through the specifics on how to do that. But that's when you want to think about it. And one thing you're going to have to do so your brains don't explode, I see this in small business all the time, is we don't have boundaries for our thinking. So we overwhelm each other with ideas and nothing gets done. So I'm just trying to clarify with you, we do not think of PR ideas here. We only think of it here. Okay? And if you have an idea, write it on your notebook, but don't talk about it until your meeting.
Nice.
That's good.
Does it make sense?
It does.
Because let me walk you through this. If your company scales, which it will, if I'm a janitor and I work at Hobby Lobby and I'm like, I've got this social media idea, it's going to be awesome. I can't just boop, 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 call the CEO.
Right.
Why? Because he has structure. Remember, without organization, we have disorganization. We're trying to make an organization. So we've got to stay away from this weird, like everything's always important stuff. We got to build a schedule. So if you have an idea for a new Dream 100 person, thou shalt not mention it until this meeting. And in that meeting, you say, hey, I'd like to add this person. But it can't be this endless carnival of craziness. Making sense?
Oh, absolutely. That's the way it is right now. It's like every waking minute.
Yeah.
It's,
My wife, I used to do this to my wife all the time. I'd say, babe, whoa, here's our idea. We're going to start marketing to schools. And she's like, but we need to go to Office Depot and get this or we're not going to get it done on time. And I'm like, no, but this is a big idea. And then I distract her, I disrupt her, and nothing gets done because I'm constantly having the new idea of the week, the new idea of the minute, the new idea of the hour. We cannot do this. We've got to have specific times. We can't have spaghetti brain where everything's all mixed together. We got to have more of a waffle brain, different sections.
Right.
Cool?
Nice.
Absolutely.
Now, as you grow, eventually you'll have a marketing team, and all they do is sit around thinking about marketing ideas. Okay? So that's what we're going to do. Now, workflow enhancement. We have a meeting for that. So we got our accounting meeting and our marketing meeting. We only got 2 more to go. When are we going to do that meeting? This is like where we talk about our processes. This is where your super wife is like, whoa, we had a complaint on aisle 4 here. We had a complaint on, had a complaint. And so you dealt with it at the moment. You wrote it down in your little notebook. But now in that meeting, this is the time where we go, what caused this problem? And how can we keep this problem from happening again? So when do we want to have that? When's the best time to do that? An hour of power.
It looks like we have Tuesday available.
Ooh.
Yeah, anywhere.
Morning?
Let's do it late.
Late, really? Wow. See, this guy's, you want to do 5 or that?
Five.
Stepping outside the box.
Okay, so 5 p.m. And this is going to be our meeting where we go over our workflow. Now, rules, again, phone off. Rules again, bring your processes to the meeting. So if you have a process for how to install doors, bring the actual sheets to the meeting. And then when you have an idea of how to make it better, you can write it right on there right now and make the change. You got to document it. So there's got to be documentation for it. So what you'll do is you'll bring your quality control checklist to the meeting, and then in that meeting you change it. Cool?
Yes.
And when do we do it?
5 o'clock on Tuesday.
That's it. If you have a problem during the week, all you do is write it down, bring all the problems to the meeting. Okay? So, survey responses. We currently survey our customers.
We've done it one time.
Okay? I would recommend on a monthly basis that you should survey your customers.
All customers?
I would survey any customers that you worked with that month.
Right.
So I would say like on Mondays, you have your 7 o'clock accounting here. I would say I would put where you send out your survey. You send out your survey at maybe like 8:30 every first Monday of the month. Put it in your calendar. Send out the survey to those customers. Okay.
And how do you do that?
The program I use is called Constant Contact, or there's Vertical Response.
We've used SurveyMonkey for.
Okay, well, SurveyMonkey's great. I don't have a problem with SurveyMonkey.
We just didn't have a lot of response.
People don't respond. Now, what we have to do is we have to let them know that for our company, the survey is somehow like a valued thing. So, you fill out the survey, we'll give you an Outback gift certificate. Fill out the survey, and you can get this much off your deal.
Break it down. Break it down.
So you've already thought about, is that a good post or not? You can post other stuff on top of it, but social currency is one way to tell if it's a good post or not. Now the second one here is triggers. Something that's easy to remember about a product or idea. It helps to ensure it stays top of mind. Example, if it's like an awe-inspiring photo of a window you installed, I might be more likely to like it or share it or something. If you have a really kind of like a video of a customer sharing the story about how you helped them, I might be more likely to share it if the video shows me. Like if I'm in the video and you tag me, I might be more likely to share it with people. But we got to be intentional. We can't just put like endless ads. And you really don't want to spend a bunch of time doing this every week. It's just the deal where you want to do it like clockwork. The third one is emotion. Simply put, messaging with an emotional component is more likely to be shared. So if it was a story that had something that was very emotionally impacting, example, if every time you guys installed a window, you gave money to a family who couldn't afford windows, or something like that, then I'm more willing to share that story because I'm like, look, here's a local Tulsa business that's helping out families in need. Or if the owner of the business, do you guys remember a few years ago, Jim was the coach of the Colts, and he was going through cancer? Well, a lot of people who weren't interested in the Colts all of a sudden shared his story. Why? Because people care, they can relate, they can. So on your calendars, you're thinking through this, I'll help you kind of build the calendar, but emotion is one of them. The fourth one is public. Okay, information that's meant to be shared. Again, this would be exclusive offers. This could be, it's a deal of like where you go, something that you're designing it where you, hey, the first 10 people to like this can win this. It's designed to be a big public offering. The next one you have here is practical value. Okay, it's another word for practical value is relevant. So facts about how much new windows could save your home, could save you and your household on electricity. It could be, actually another example for you. It could be like a video of you. Maybe you record, You get together on a weekend and you guys record 25 for the year, 5-minute little segments where you talk about ways to improve your home's efficiency through putting in new windows, that kind of thing. These are things you can do. And the next one is stories. Stories get passed along a lot. So if it's a story about, so you interview a couple and you say, well, how much has your utility bills gone down since you installed? Have you ever had a customer you've worked with who's told you that they've saved money by putting in new windows?
No, I've had customers question how much they're going to save and how effective the windows are.
There's a guy who does wall foam who I met years ago, and he, all I did was help him film them. But he had couples, he called them and asked them, hey, since we've installed the wall foam, how much have your utility bills gone down? And people had found they'd gone down pretty significantly, like $80 a month, $100 a month, whatever. Well, you magnify that over 12 months a year in the lifetime of it's pretty powerful. And so he filmed testimonials with people where they shared, hey, my utility bills have gone down 20% since and those stories can get passed on. Also, if there's a story of something you're doing in the community, is there like a charity or something that you two are involved in but you don't really promote it?
No.
Not really. I mean, we got involved with Keith's this past year, but not substantially.
Well, if there's something that you're doing, or maybe you decide moving forward you want to be really intentional about choosing one specific charity. Is there a particular cause that you two are passionate about?
I think we talked about the Alzheimer's Association, because that has impacted both of our families significantly.
Okay, so let's put that down here. So Alzheimer's can be something. That could be a story. So you could talk about how this month our company had an opportunity to team up with such and such. Here's a story about how Alzheimer's is affecting people. And it's just something where people begin to know you beyond just the fact that you install Windows. Okay? Now what we're going to do is we want to create a social media calendar that in your weekly marketing meeting, all you do is you go over, hey, what posts are going up this week? I'm going to make it really easy for you because this is how I would do it. Just try to save you time. You might say, Monday is always going to be our story. Wednesday is going to be on how we save money. Money savings ideas. Friday is going to be before and after photos. And so every week, that's all you do.
Break it down. Break it down.
Other things we're going to do, okay, is our Dream 100.
I've got a Dream 5 right now.
You got to get 100. Now, the thing about the Dream 100 is it's ideal. I want you to write this down. The Dream 100.
Ideal and likely buyers.
Ideal and likely buyers, right. Now, I want you to hear this because this is big. Ideal. Likely. Ideal. We've got a guy who's going to be on Thrive here coming up soon, whose name I shall not mention yet because he's going to be coming up soon. He's done $3 billion of small business loans over a 9-year period of time. He is the guru of small business loans. Well, he's ideal because he's done more small business loans than almost anybody else on the planet. We just got back, we're in California, we interviewed the top PR guy in the history of the planet. He's the top publicist ever. His name's Michael Levine. He does all the PR he did for Michael Jackson's estate, for Prince, for Bill Clinton, George Bush. He's like the best. Well, that's ideal. Who's your ideal? You want to put on a sheet of paper, who's ideal? So who do you get a lot of your referrals from? You said realtors?
Realtors.
Who else?
Biggest. As far as showers, I've made some friendships with tile people, and
so you're doing 100. Tile, let's put tile, realtors, you got to have 100. 100. Got to have 100. Okay? Now, this is where it gets real. We have these 4 meetings a week, guys, okay? But now you have to start to look at your calendar and go, well, when are we going to do our Dream 100 each week? And you start to go, well, so let's just for the sake of this example, when will we do our Dream 100? Because it's going to take us half day for either you or a human that works for you to go out every week to 20 businesses. And we have a lady in my office that does that for companies. So she can do about 21, 22 in a day. For the photography business I have, our guys have to do 7 a day. But what's the day of the week we're going to go out and do it? Now, one week we're mailing, one week we're dropping by, the next week we're calling. But what's the day of the week we could, I mean, every week's challenging, but when's the day we could go, I'm putting on a helmet and I'm doing my Dream 100?
Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Wednesday's typically the best day for the people I'm going to see.
So I'm going to put here, Dream 100 Wednesday. Do you see, though, how the intentionality of your schedule starts to, I mean, you start to have a sense of like purpose of like, this is what I'm doing. Boom. Now we can save time and money by calling the donut place in advance and pre-ordering it and having it ready to go and building our account, our schedule, and so we have that. Okay? Now the other stuff is social media. Now social media can be, if we're not careful, a huge waste of time, or it can be very good for you. So I'm going to have you read, since you're going to be our official quote reader. Can you read the social media quote here?
People don't think in terms of information, they think in terms of narratives. But while people focus on the story itself, information comes along for the ride. Jonah Berger.
Okay, now this guy is a Wharton business professor who's taken a lot of time to study the most successful the most successful social media campaigns of all time. And he breaks it down into these rules. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to have you read the rule, and then I'll explain to you what this means, and then we're going to kind of help you get through this. Okay, so it's called Steps, by the way. It's from his book Contagious. He has a system. So go read the first one.
Social currency. Shareable information, that which holds social currency, one way or another. It makes us look good to those around us.
Okay, so the example was like the celebrity, like the ALS Ice Bucket Challenge. Why did people share it? It's like a social currency. It's like, look, I did something good for the community. I want to share. You should do it too. It takes off. So what's an example that you guys could do? Well, have an incredible discount. You like have a discount. Click here to save money on this. Hey guys, it's spring window fixing season or something, and you have a special that you're promoting. And people are more likely to do it if they feel like that it can relate to them and it's something. Now, the good thing is we sit down. You two can go on a hot date on a Saturday and think of your stuff for the year. Are you familiar with the program Hootsuite? Okay, so Hootsuite on the social media here, this is homework for you, but on the social media, what you're going to do is I recommend that you would just do 3 posts per week right now. And you would go ahead and pre-program them. Now, Hootsuite only allows you to do it, I think, for like 10 weeks or something. But the point is you can pre-program them for the foreseeable future. Okay?
Break it down. Break it down.
Other stuff. The marketing calendar. Oh, the marketing calendar. So, we need to, in this meeting, know what we're going to do this week as it relates to our yearly calendar. So, homework for you guys. You'll need to create a calendar. So here's the calendar. Now again, just all you need to do is make 12 months of the year and decide what you're going to put, what you want to do every month. So as an example, when do kids go back to school?
In August.
August.
Yeah, August.
So in my business, every year we would do mailers to prom planners, in July. Why? Because they're getting back to school, the teachers. And then we would call them in August. Why? Because that's when they started. But because I put it in the calendar, I did it every single year. Every year in the winter, people plan holiday parties. Well, I'd start calling them in September. Why? Because most people book their entertainment in October. So every September, we called every single corporation in Tulsa with 100 employees or more. Every one of them, every single year. Mailer and caller. No luck. Every July, schools. You look at, you break your whole calendar up. Every Valentine's, people have these groups like the Kiwanis and the what do you call them, the Chambers and the Rotaries have these Valentine's things, or singles groups have Valentine's things. So every year I'd start marketing for Valentine's in January. Every year, So in your business, what's stuff that every year seems to happen?
Every year.
Home sales.
In the spring?
In the spring, we do lots of work with realtors.
Boom. So on our list, if we made a list right now, today, or when we get home in the next, let's say in the next 14 days, we do it. You say, on my calendar, hell or high water, when do they start calling you usually?
It usually starts around the end of February, first part of March.
Bam. So January. This is just idea one. Every January, we shall call every realtor in Tulsa who is a member of the multi-million-dollar club or whatever that is, whoever the top producers are, and we shall give them a print piece, and we shall call them, and we shall bring them donuts or something like that.
Right.
And if you do it every year at that time, guess what will happen? Magical. You're going to get business every year at that month, more than you ever had before. And then what's another thing, that phenomenon that happens every year for you? What's another one where you're like, man, every year this happens? Spring home sales. Oh, I agree with that one.
Right. That's the biggest.
Inside sales pick up. Inside installations pick up at end of September into October that tend to try to shower enclosures,
And that's when?
shelves,
Now.
tabletops. Right.
Okay, so I'd put it on your calendar again, 1 month before now, every year, make a marketing piece for that. And that's how you do it. Now you think about Mathis Brothers, big furniture company, you think about McDonald's. Every year, Starbucks, in the fall, they do pumpkin spice. For some reason, small business owners, though, we don't do that thing. We're not intentional about that. Well, it's because we're so busy, we don't have time to take a time out and do this. But now we have our marketing meeting with our agenda, so this is the conversation you two lovebirds would have. Hello, lover. Hello, lover. Okay, we're talking about marketing. Hey, what's our marketing thing we're doing this week? Crap, let's pull up our calendar. This is Pumpkin Spice Week. Woo! So I used to tell my guys every week on the DJ business, all right, guys, this week, you know what this week is? And they're like, what is it, dude? This week is school prom marketing. Who's pumped? We're kind of pumped. Yes, it's school. Let's get after it. And we would just aggressively, all the mailers are ready to go. We call, we mail envelopes. Guys would be sitting. We had literally, if you could visualize it, we had guys up. This was my home office at the time, my house that was also an office. And we had about 20 guys at the office at that time. And these guys, like a chain gang, one guy would be addressing envelopes, the other guy would be licking them, stamping them, putting the stuff in them. We would do like 1,000 mailers in a day, just boo, all the way up and down the row, every year. Well, when you are intentional about what you're doing, it's awesome. Okay? So then you go, well, what networking events do I go to? Well, you might not go to any if you're doing that. Or you might go to those if you feel like they're worth it, but you're going to start to be very intentional about it, okay? But in the world of contracting, for some reason, most contractors, maybe not you people, but most people, typically what they'll do is they'll get a call, they quote on the phone about half the time, they go to the meeting, each time it's different, they don't have a plan, and they come out, sometimes with a deal, sometimes not, and they end up having a whole bunch of people they follow up with. We want to make a really streamlined system for you. But that's how it should work for you, okay? Big deal right there. Now there's a book called Soft Selling in a Hard World, which needs to be on your desk if it's already not. Soft Selling in a Hard World by Vass, okay? The author's name is Vass. And this book, Soft Selling in a Hard World, this book really needs to be part of your repertoire because you'll want to refer back to it all the time and kind of constantly tweak your systems to get there, okay? A couple other things here. You want to listen to your inquiry phone calls. Now, some might say, is that legal? Well, depends upon your state. Also depends upon whether you want to talk about it right now. I just figured it out. But I would just say there's a thing called an interceptor, which you can buy at Radio Shack for like $10. And it will record both ends of the conversation. And then you're able to listen to yourself and say, that was horrible. Or that was good. I've never met a successful entrepreneur who cannot listen to their own stuff and objectively say at least once a week, that was horrible. I do it every week. I'm like, God, that was horrible. But you have to be very aware. So you want to listen to your calls. Now, who handles the calls right now? You do. Okay, so this
Mostly.
this is where it gets real. You love the lady, you married her, she's a great lady. Maybe she's the best lady in the world at A, B, C, D, E, F, G, all the way down to Z. And maybe the one area she's terrible at is sales. Let's say that, not you, but me. I'm sitting there, my wife's working, going to ORU, or Roberts University. She is walking to ORU every day, and because we have one car. She works at Office Depot. She's a full-time cheerleading coach. She's got multiple jobs. She's burning the candle at both ends. And meanwhile, I am there running the business, into the ground, mind you, but running the business. And every time I got a call, I would blow up at least half of them. And when she would try to give me advice, I would say, you know, you don't understand. But once we started listening to the calls, and I got an advisor to kind of help me analyze my calls and tell me what I could do better, it helped a lot. So I would encourage you guys to be diligent in this meeting to listen to your calls. Okay? Now, the other thing is there's voice over IP systems, where I think those are a little bit complicated for right now. You can do it. It just requires calling a dude who sets up the stuff and takes a few months to get it right. And I wouldn't worry about it right now. I would just focus on getting the interceptor for right now. That way you can listen to them. Okay? And that every day, every week listen to it. And the goal is to ask, what could we do better? Does the script need to be fixed? You know, what's an FAQ? I always get asked. We want to put that in there, okay? So, other stuff we want to track here, and this is all in the same meeting. Number one reasons people said no this week. Why'd they say no? So in your business, what's the number one reason people won't set an appointment?
I'm not sure the reason, but a lot of people just, no, I just want to quote over the phone. And I'm pretty much a badger about, it's really best if we cannot give you an estimate.
But when we do give that, well, it's going to be around this in this neighborhood, that's when we get that no. That's when we get that, well, I'm going to call you back.
Here's what will happen. In soft selling in a hard world, it'll lay this out. But never quote over the phone. I would just die on that hill. So, I mean, I have people all the time. And again, before I sold my business, we were doing almost 4,000 weddings a year. That's like 80. People are like, well, how does a wedding relate to this? Well, 80 a weekend. How does that relate to this? How does it relate to pharmaceutical sales? How does it relate to windows? The mother of the bride, it's like she's having her second wedding. The bride is like putting on a show for America. And they are pig-headed about not coming to meet with you until they're on their thing, but we could do it. Okay? But we want to script it out and it'll work. We got to script it out. Okay? We got to follow that. Okay? Signage, referral, advertisement, you got all that? Currently, where does most of your stuff come from? Google. That's a big thing for you. Okay, sweet. Next one. Notable quotable. Can you read this notable quotable to me there? What do you want? I'm happy you read there.
I will. A man has no right to occupy another man's time unnecessarily, by John D. Rockefeller.
So what that means is that we need to make sure that with our marketing that we're not occupying our time unnecessarily. We're not wasting our time doing things that don't produce fruit. And I can just tell you, as the guy who's done it before, I served on a board, then I serve on another board, now I'm in another group, now pretty soon I got 4 meetings I got to go to a week for, associations, chambers, blah, blah, blah. You know what? If it's not paying me that much per hour, get out of there. Now, once you get to the top, you hit that goal, now you can schedule some more time to do those kind of things with no expectation of reciprocity. So when my wife and I give to organizations, I have no expectation of getting a deal out of it. I'm just doing it because I want to do it. But we got to get to that first. Abraham Lincoln says, the key to helping the poor is the step one, first, and don't be poor. That's kind of the idea, okay? So the next one is the cost to acquire each customer. You want to know, well, hey, how much did we spend on marketing this week? And how many customers did we get? Well, we spent $4,000 this week. Okay, well, how many deals did we get? 1. Well, we spent $4,000 per customer, or whatever that number is. Okay. Other stuff here. This is big stuff here. Number of leads, a percentage of leads turned into appointments. Percentage of leads. So that means if someone calls, what percentage of them do we actually convert into an appointment? Now that's humbling.
Yes.
Because my percentage used to be horrible. I mean, I used to get, this is just me, not you guys, I'm sure. I would get people that would call. I'd get like 10 calls a week from a yellow page. Back in the day, I get 10 calls from the yellow pages. And I could somehow, they would all say, how much do you cost? How much do you charge? So they would, so step one is I get the call. Step two is they ask me the price. And then from that system, I got usually 2 appointments. Now, at the time I sold the business, I got it to where if I got 10 calls and they asked about the price, I was able to get 10 appointments. I was able to shoot almost 100% on appointments because I was able to improve my system. So it's not a personal attack, but it's you guys objectively, and you're like, hey, how many calls did we get? 10. How many appointments did we set? 2. Okay, we need to fix our conversion percentage. Okay. Now, the percentage of appointments turned into deals. So that means we do an appointment, but do they actually buy from us? And I want you guys to write this down real quick because this is big, okay? In your business, the model that's going to work is, I'm going to lay it out here for you, okay? Because I've worked with people in the construction business. I'm just telling you how it goes. 1 is the inquiry. Okay, that's step 1. Okay? 2 is we're going to basically set an appointment, okay? We're going to set an appointment. People want a quote. We're going to set an appointment, okay? Now 3, I need to email and overwhelm you with an unbelievable amount of facts and proof, okay? So I'm going to give you facts, proof, email. Like we're talking testimonials, the whole deal, right? Then I'm going to meet with you to do a needs assessment and a quote. Okay, so needs assessment. Then I have to drip on you with another fact-proof email. Then I have to close. Typically in your business, that's how it's going to go. So Marcia calls, hey, I want to see how much it would cost to have windows installed. And you go, hey, great. What kind of windows are you looking at? She said, well, I just want a price. And you say, well, you know what? I can get you a price right down to the dollar. What we do is we set up an appointment to come out there and get you a quote. What's a good time? Well, I really just want a price. Well, you know the great news, Marcia? We actually have a special going right now where we might be able to get you the best prices in all of Oklahoma. But I need to just come out there for 30 minutes to find out, make sure we don't misquoting you. What's a good time? Well, I really just want a price. When we come out there, I'll get you a price. I really want to, what's a good, and you just got to be pighead to get that appointment. You set an appointment, then you say, Marcia, before we meet, I'm going to email you a list of 20 happy clients we've worked with this year and some testimonials, a recent feature of us on the news. I'll get that to you. And then when we meet, you get an idea for who we are. So she opens up the email half the time. Let's say this one does. Oh, hey, I saw your stuff. You guys look pretty good. Yeah, well, hey, I want to get a quote here for you. Show me the window you're talking about. You walk around, you take notes, you go through your checklist. You say, hey, while we're here, do you have any have you ever had a problem with and it's a checklist. It's not, if you remember, like Jiffy Lube, who always, they get for $19.99, they always get us for the $150 bill.
Right.
Every single, $9.99, I'm going in and somehow I spend $177 every single time, right?
Your air filter really needs to be changed.
That's right. See, every single time, so that's what you do. You come in, you say, hey, now, did you want to leave this or did you want to have this often affects resale value? Did you want to have that fixed? Yes or no? Then we come in, we say, hey, well, I tell you what, as far as the price goes, it looks like it'll be this or this. I'm going to email you a couple other happy testimonials. And why don't we set up a follow-up time on tomorrow at 5. I'll come back and to see which of these options is a better fit for you. What's a good time? That's kind of the move,
Break it down.
But we need to start like right away going. So someone says, here's another example. There's a sad man that I know. He's a good guy, just sad story. He keeps going to these endless networking events. Chamber events, Rotary events. And I'm like, Brotown, when was the last time you got a deal from said events? And he's like, well, I don't think I've ever gotten one, but I'm just getting my name out there. And I'm like, well, currently you're making about $11 an hour a week because you keep going to these things during the week. You're going to coffee with a dude, you're going to the dry cleaners, you're going to the networking events. You cannot do this. You're done with it. We're going to pay a courier to pick up your checks. We're not going to networking events anymore unless they pay us. And we're going to, and he's like, oh man, well, but you got to be intentional about this. So right here, if I get hit by a bus and for some reason I get abducted by an alien before we're done today, write that down, put it at the top of your agenda, put it on your mirror, you need to make $160.26 per hour. Now the good news is you two are a team, so that means you only each need to make $50 an hour, right? Right. I guess it'd be $80 an hour, I'm sorry, 80, $80 an hour. Okay, so our accounting meeting, do we know what we're going to talk about in our accounting meeting? Does everybody feel good about that? This is an agenda, we're going to give you a digital copy, just use it every meeting. Okay? Now, the next one is the weekly marketing and sales meeting. When are we going to do that? In an hour.
Well, because marketing is her area,
Okay.
we're going to let her set that.
Okay, boss?
I think that might be a Thursday or Friday looking into the next week.
Okay. So what time do you want to do?
I would prefer that one to be later in the day. Ooh. Because that's when my brain thinks the best.
Okay, when do you want that to be? 5? 4?
5.
5. Okay, so we're going to do 5 p.m. So 5 p.m. is our marketing meeting. Now, rules for meetings, just real quick. We do not have our cell phones on during meetings. Well, what if a customer calls? They're going to. Well, what if a guy calls? He's going to call. All that's going to happen. Phone off. One great tip for irritating your wife consistently, which I do, until I got some really good intervention in the form of some yelling encouragement, followed by wise counsel from some wise guys. But one of my mentors, Cliff Talbert, I said, hey, I'm not really an early guy. And he's like, okay, you have 5 kids. I said, yeah. Okay, got some options. A, you just get less ambitious. Or B, you tell your kids you're not going to be home ever at night because you're just going to be working. Or C, you discover a new love for the morning. That was like his conversation he had with me. Now, other people have different dynamics. You don't have to do that. But you got to find what's going to work. And is it going to be easy? Absolutely not. But I see entrepreneurs all the time who will come to you, they'll call me up and they'll say, I got my schedule, but my phone keeps ringing. I know it's going to ring. Just turn it off. Just don't. When I'm with you today, I will not answer my phone. When I get out of this meeting, I'll have 20-something text messages. Do I care? Yeah, a little secret part of you wants to care, but you can't. Okay? So today, this morning, I got a text message from the mayor of a big city, wants to pay me a big old consulting fee to help re-energize his downtown. That's pretty exciting. But I'm not going to call him. But what if I lose the deal? I'm okay with it. Because you know what? I've got boundaries, I've got a plan, and on the average, I'm going to come out ahead. But then I have boundaries, I have limitations, and I want to make sure that I am available for you when I'm here, available for my wife when I'm there, available for my kids when I'm there. It's a big thing. Cool? So let's get into this, the marketing. We need to go over the number of new clients last week. Number of new clients last week. What if that number is 0? Has there ever been 0 before? You turn this on silent or something. It's like a demon example of how not to be interrupted. Yeah, absolutely. That's Stop doing that thing. You have a degree. You tackle that. Okay, so here we go. So marketing though, number of new clients for the week. What are those? Well, maybe the number is 0. A lot of businesses, that number is 0. Okay, we just got to own the number. Don't BS in that meeting. What's the number? The next is the total amount of gross sales last week. Why aren't we talking about profit? Because that was the accounting meeting. All I want to know is how much did we sell? Gross sales. Third, inquiry sources. Where did they come from? Do you currently do that? Where do they come from?
Yes.
You do?
Yes.
Awesome. The reason why it matters is because you want to, without emotion, be able to make those decisions. So, example. We had a guy yesterday who subscribed to Thrive from like Washington, another guy from like California, another guy from, and it's really cool. I mean, it's fun. But when you talk to people and you're like, well, how'd you hear about us? Well, I heard about you in Forbes or Bloomberg, or I heard about you from a friend, or you start to get patterns and you go, this advertisement is crap, or this one is great, or this is whatever. But you have to do it because the sales guy selling the ad is going to bring some energy to it, some passion. He's probably a friend of yours or something. So you want to make those wise decisions, okay?
JT, do you know what time it is?
4:10.
It's Tebow time in Tulsa, Jerusalem, baby. Tim Tebow is coming to Tulsa, Oklahoma, June 27th and 28th. We've been doing business conferences here since 2005. I've been hosting business conferences since 2005. What year were you born?
1995.
Dude, I've been hosting business conferences since you were 10 years old, but I've never had the two-time Heisman Award-winning Tim Tebow come present. And a lot of people, have followed Tim Tebow's football career on the field and off the field. And off the field, the guy's been just as successful as he has been on the field. Now, the big question is, JT, how does he do it?
Well, they're going to have to come and find out because I don't know.
Well, I'm just saying, Tim Tebow's going to teach us how he organizes his day, how he organizes his life, how he's proactive with his faith, his family, his finances. He's going to walk us through his mindset that he brings into the gym, into business. It is going to be a blasty blast in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Also, this is the first Thrive Time Show event that we've had where we're going to have a man who has built $100 million net worth.
Wow.
Who'll be presenting. Now, we've had a couple presenters that have had $1 billion net worth in some like real estate sort of things.
Yeah.
But this is the first time we've had a guy who's built a service business, and he's built over $100 million net worth in the service business. It's the yacht driving, multi-state living guru of franchising. Peter Taunton will be in the house. This is the founder of Snap Fitness, the guy behind 9 Round Boxing. He's going to be here in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma, June 27th and 28th. JT, why should everybody want to hear what Peter Taunton has to say?
Oh, because he's incredible. He's just a fountain of knowledge. He is awesome. He has inspired me listening to him talk. And not only that, he also has, he practices what he teaches. So he's a real teacher. He's not a fake teacher like business school teachers. So you got to come learn from him.
Also, let me tell you this, folks. I don't want to get this wrong because if I get it wrong, someone's going to say, you screwed that up, buddy. So Michael Levine, this is Michael Levine. He's going to be coming. You say, who's Michael Levine? I don't want to get this wrong. This is the PR consultant of choice for Michael Jackson, for Prince, for Nike, for Charlton Heston, for Nancy Kerrigan, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times best-selling authors he's represented, including pretty much everybody you know who's been a super celebrity. This is Michael Levine, a good friend of mine. He's going to come and talk to you about personal branding and the mindset needed to be super successful. The lineup will continue to grow. We have hit Christian recording artist Colton Dixon in the house. Now, people say, Colton Dixon's in the house? Yes, Colton Dixon's in the house. So if you like top 40 Christian music, Colton Dixon's going to be in the house performing. The lineup will continue to grow each and every day. We're going to add more and more speakers to this all-star lineup. But I encourage everybody out there today, get those tickets today. Go to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com. And some people might be saying, well, how do I do it? What do I do? How does it work? You just go to thrivetimeshow.com. Let's go there now. We're feeling the flow. We're going to thrivetimeshow.com. Again, you just go to thrivetimeshow.com. You click on the business conferences button, and you click on the request tickets button right there. The way I do our conferences is we tell people it's $250 to get a ticket.
Yep.
Or whatever price that you can afford. And the reason why I do that is I grew up without money. JT, you're in the process of building a super successful company. Did you start out with $1 million in the bank account?
No, I did not. Nope, did not get any loans, nothing like that. Did not get an inheritance from parents or anything like that. I had to work for it, and I'm super grateful. I came to a business conference. That's actually how I met you, met Peter Taunton. I met all these people.
So if you're out there today and you want to come to our workshop, again, you just got to go to thrivetimeshow.com. You might say, well, when's it going to be? June 27th and 28th. You might say, well, who's speaking? We already covered that. You might say, where's it going to be? It's going to be in Tulsa, Jerusalem, Oklahoma. And someone says, Tulsa, Jerusalem. It's I'm really trying to rebrand Tulsa as Tulsa Jerusalem, sort of like the Jerusalem of America. But if you type in Thrive Time Show and Jinx, you can get a sneak peek or a look at our office facility. This is what it looks like. This is where you're headed. It's going to be a blasty blast. You can look inside, see the facility. We're going to have hundreds of entrepreneurs here. It is going to be packed. Now, for this particular event, folks, the seating is always limited because my facility isn't a limitless convention center. You're coming to my actual home office, and so it's going to be packed. So when? June 27th and 28th. Who? You're going to come. Who? You? I'm talking to you. You can just get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. And again, you can name your price. We tell people it's $250 or whatever price you can afford. And we do have some select VIP tickets, which gives you an access to meet some of the speakers and those sorts of things. And those tickets are $500. It's a 2-day interactive business workshop, over 20 hours of business training. We're going to give you a copy of my newest book, The Millionaire's Guide to Becoming Sustainably Rich. You're going to leave with a workbook. You're going to leave with everything you need to know to start and grow a super successful company. It's practical, it's actionable, and it's Tebow time right here in Tulsa, Jerusalem. Get those tickets today at thrivetimeshow.com. Again, that's thrivetimeshow.com.
Hello, I'm Michael Levine, and I'm talking to you right now from the center of Hollywood, California, where I have represented over the last 35 years 58 Academy Award winners, 34 Grammy Award winners, 43 New York Times bestsellers. I've represented a lot of major stars, and I've worked with a lot of major companies. And I think I've learned a few things about what makes them work and what makes them not work. Now, why would a man living in Hollywood, California, in the beautiful sunny weather of LA, come to Tulsa? Because last year I did it, and it was damn exciting. Clay Clark has put together an exceptional presentation, really life-changing, and I'm looking forward to seeing you then. I'm Michael Levine. I'll see you in Tulsa.
James, did I tell you my good friend John Lee Dumas is also joining us at the in-person 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show business workshop? That Tim Tebow and that Michael Levine will be at. Have I told you this?
You have not told me that.
Oh, he's coming all the way from Puerto Rico. This is John Lee Dumas, the host of the chart-topping EOFire.com podcast. He's absolutely a living legend. This guy started a podcast after wrapping up his service in the United States military, and he started recording this podcast daily in his home, to the point where he started interviewing big-time folks like Gary Vaynerchuk, like Tony Robbins, and he just kept interviewing bigger and bigger names, putting out shows day after day. And now he is the legendary host of the EO Fire podcast, and he's traveling all the way from Puerto Rico to Tulsa, Oklahoma to attend the in-person June 27th and 28th Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshop. If you're out there today, folks, you've ever wanted to grow a podcast, a broadcast, you want to improve your marketing, if you've ever wanted to improve your marketing, your branding, if you've ever wanted to increase your sales, you want to come to the 2-day interactive June 27th and 28th Thrive Time Show business workshop featuring Tim Tebow, Michael Levine, John Lee Dumas, and countless big-time super successful entrepreneurs. It's going to be life-changing. Get your tickets right now at thrivetimeshow.com. James, what website is that?
thrivetimeshow.com.
James, one more time with more enthusiasm.
thrivetimeshow.com.
Shot, everything rides on tonight. Even if I got 3 strikes, I'ma go for it. This moment, we own it. I'm not to be played with because it could get dangerous. See these people I ride with. This moment, we own it.
Thrive Time Show 2-day interactive business workshops are the world's highest rated and most reviewed business workshops because we teach you what you need to know to grow.
You can learn the proven 13-point business systems that Dr. Zellner and I have used over and over to start and grow successful companies. I mean, we get into the specific steps on what you need to do to optimize your website. We're going to teach you how to fix your conversion rate. We're going to teach you how to do a social media marketing campaign that works. How do you raise capital? How do you get a small business loan? We teach you everything you need to know here during a 2-day, 15-hour workshop. It's all here for you. You work every day in your business, but for 2 days you can escape and work on your business and build these proven systems so now you can have a successful company that will produce both the time freedom and the financial freedom that you deserve. You're going to leave energized, motivated, but you're also going to leave empowered. The reason why I've built these workshops is because as an entrepreneur, I always wish that I had this. And because there wasn't anything like this, I would go to these motivational seminars, no money down, real estate, Ponzi scheme, get motivated seminars, and they would never teach me anything. It was like you went there and you paid for the big chocolate Easter bunny, but inside of it, it was a hollow nothingness. And I wanted the knowledge, and they're like, oh, but we'll teach you the knowledge after our next workshop. And the great thing is we have nothing to upsell. At every workshop, we teach you what you need to know. There's no one in the back of the room trying to sell you some next big get-rich-quick, walk-on-hot coals product. It's literally, we teach you the brass tacks, the specific stuff that you need to know to learn how to start and grow a business. And I encourage you to not believe what I'm saying, and I want you to Google the Z66 auto auction. I want you to Google elephant in the room. Look at Robert Zellner and Associates. Look them up and say, are they successful because they're geniuses, or are they successful because they have a proven system? When you do that research, you will discover that the same systems that we use in our own business can be used in your business. Come to Tulsa, book a ticket, and I guarantee you it's going to be the best business workshop ever, and we'll even give you your money back if you don't love it. We've built this facility for you, and we're excited to see you.
And now you may be thinking, what does it actually cost to attend an in-person 2-day interactive Thrive Time Show business workshop? Well, good news. The tickets are $250 or whatever price that you can afford. What? Yes, they're $250 or whatever price you can afford. I grew up without money, and I know what it's like to live without money. So if you're out there today and you want to attend our in-person 2-day interactive business workshop, all you got to do is go to thrivetimeshow.com to request those tickets. And if you can't afford $250, we have scholarship pricing available to make it affordable for you.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Whoa. Good morning, good morning, good morning. Robert Kiyosaki, the Rich Dad Radio Show. Today I'm broadcasting from Phoenix, Arizona, not Scottsdale, Arizona. They're close, but they're completely different worlds. And we have a special guest today. Definition of intelligence is if you agree with me, you're intelligent. And so this gentleman is very intelligent. I've done his show before also, but very seldom do you find somebody who lines up on all counts. And it's a Mr. Clay Clark. He's a friend of a good friend, Eric Trump. But we're also talking about money, bricks, and how screwed up the world can get in a few and a half hour. So Clay Clark is a very intelligent man, and there's so many ways we could take this thing. But I thought, since you and Eric are close, Trump, what were you saying about what Trump can't, what Donald, who's my age, and I can say or cannot say?
Well, I have to, first of all, I have to honor you, sir. I want to show you what I did to one of your books here. There's a guy by the name of Jeremy Thorne, who was my boss at the time. I was 19 years old, working at Faith Highway. I had a job at Applebee's, Target, and DirecTV. And he said, have you read this book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad? And I said, no. And my father, may he rest in peace, he didn't know these financial principles. So I started reading all of your books and really devouring your books. And I went from being an employee to self-employed to the business owner to the investor. And I owe a lot of that to you. And I just wanted to take a moment to tell you thank you so much for allowing me to achieve success. And then I'll tell you all about Eric Trump. But I just want to tell you thank you, sir, for changing my life.
But not only that, Clay, thank you, but you become an influencer. More than anything else, you've evolved into an influencer where your word has more and more power. So that's why I congratulate you on becoming. Because as you know, there's a lot of fake influencers out there too, or bad influencers.
Yeah.
So anyway, I'm glad you and I agree so much, and thanks for reading my books.
Yeah.
That's the greatest thrill for me today. Not a thrill, but recognition is when people, young men especially, come up and say, I read your book, changed my life. I'm doing this, I'm doing this, I'm doing this.
I learned at the Academy, Kings Point in New York. Acta non verba. Watch what a person does, not what they say.
Whoa.
Hey, I'm Ryan Wimpy. I'm originally from Tulsa, born and raised here. I went to a small private liberal arts college and got a degree in business. And I didn't learn anything like they're teaching here. I didn't learn linear workflows. I learned stuff that I'm not using and I haven't been using for the last 9 years. So what they're teaching here is actually way better than what I got at business school. And I went what was actually ranked as a very good business school. The linear workflow for us and getting everything out on paper and documented is really important. Like we have workflows that are kind of all over the place, so having linear workflow and seeing that mapped out on multiple different boards is pretty awesome. That's really helpful for me. The atmosphere here is awesome. I definitely just stared at the walls figuring out how to make my facility look like this place. This place rocks. It's invigorating. The walls are super, it's just very cool. The atmosphere is cool. The people are nice. It's a pretty cool place to be. Very good learning atmosphere. I literally want to model it and steal everything that's here at this facility and basically create it just on our business side.
Once I saw what they were doing, I knew I had to get here at the conference. This is probably the best conference or seminar I've ever been to in over 30 years in business.
You're not bored. You're awake, alive the whole time. It's not pushy. They don't try to sell you a bunch of things.
I was looking to learn how to just get control of my life, my schedule, and just get control of the business.
Planning your time, breaking it all down, making time for the F6 in your life, and just really implementing it and sticking with the program.
It's really lively. They're pretty friendly, helpful, very welcoming.
I attended a conference a couple months back, and it was really the best business conference I've ever attended.
At the workshop, I learned a lot about time management, really prioritizing what's the most important.
Biggest takeaways are, you want to take a step-by-step approach to your business. Whether it's marketing, what are those 3 marketing tools that you want to use, to human resources.
Now, some of the most successful people and successful businesses in this town, their owners were here today because they wanted to know more from Clay, and I found that to be kind of fascinating.
The most valuable thing that I've learned is diligence. That businesses don't change overnight. It takes time and effort, and you got to go through the ups and downs of getting it to where you want to go.
He actually gives you the roadmap out. I was stuck, didn't know what to do, and he gave me the roadmap out step by step.
We've set up systems in the business that make my life much easier, allow me some time freedom.
Here you can ask any question you want. They guarantee it'll be answered.
This conference motivates me and also give me a lot of knowledge and tools.
It's up to you to do it. Everybody can do these things. There's stuff that everybody knows, but if you don't do it, nobody else can do it for you.
I can see the marketing working. And it's just an approach that makes sense.
Probably the most notable thing is just the income increase that we've had.
Everyone's super fun. It's super motivating. I've been here before, but I'm back again because it motivates me.
Your competition's going to come eventually, or try to pick up these tactics. So you better, if you don't, somebody else will.
I'm Rachel with Tip Top Canine, and we just want to give a huge thank you to Clay and Vanessa Clark.
Hey guys, I'm Ryan with Tip Top Canine. Just want to say a big thank you to Thrive 15. Thank you to Make Your Life Epic. We love you guys, we appreciate you, and really just appreciate how far you've taken us. This is our old house, right? This is where we used to live a few years ago. This is our old neighborhood. See? It's nice, right? So this is my old van and our old school marketing, and this is our old team. And by team, I mean it's me and another guy.
This is our new house with our new neighborhood. This is our new van with our new marketing, and this is our new team. We went from 4 to 14, and I took this beautiful photo. We worked with several different business coaches in the past, and they were all about helping Ryan sell better and just teaching sales, which is awesome, but Ryan is a really great salesman. So we didn't need that. We needed somebody to help us get everything that was in his head out into systems, into manuals and scripts, and actually build a team. So now that we have systems in place, we've gone from 1 to 10 locations in only a year.
In October 2016, we grossed 13 grand for the whole month. Right now it's 2018, the month of October. It's only the 22nd. We've already grossed a little over 50 grand for the whole month, and we still have time to go. We're just thankful for you, thankful for Thrive and your mentorship, and we're really thankful that You guys have helped us to grow a business that we run now instead of the business running us. Just thank you times 1,000.
So we really just want to thank you, Clay, and thank you, Vanessa, for everything you've done, everything you've helped us with. We love you guys.
If you decide to not attend the Thrive Time workshop, you're missing out on a great opportunity.
The atmosphere of Clay's office is very lively. You can feel the energy as soon as you walk through the door, and it really got me and my team very excited.
If you decide not to come, you're missing out on an opportunity to grow your business. Bottom line.
Love the environment. I love the way that Clay presents and teaches. It's a way that not only allows me to comprehend what's going on, but he explains it in a way to where it just makes sense.
The SEO optimization, branding, marketing. I've learned more in the last 2 days than I have the entire 4 years of college.
The most valuable thing that I've learned, marketing is key. Marketing is everything.
Making sure that you're branded accurately and clearly. How to grow a business using Google reviews, and then just how to optimize our name through our website also.
Helpful with a lot of marketing, search engine optimization, helping us really rank high in Google.
The biggest thing I needed to learn was how to build my foundation, how to systemize everything and optimize everything, build my SEO.
How to become more organized, more efficient.
How to make sure the business is really there to serve me as opposed to me constantly being there for the business.
New ways of advertising my business, as well as recruiting new employees.
Group interviews, number one. Before we felt like we were held hostage by our employees. Group interviews has completely eliminated that because you're able to really find the people that would really be the best fit.
Hands-on, how to hire people, how to deal with human resources, a lot about marketing, and overall just how to structure the business, how it works for me, and also then how that can translate into working better for my clients.
The most valuable thing I've learned here is time management.
I like the 1 hour of doing your business is real critical if I'm going to grow and change.
Clay really teaches you how to navigate through those things and not only find freedom, but find your purpose in your business and find the purposes for all those other people that directly affect your business as well.
Everybody.
Everyone
Everyone needs to attend the conference because you get an opportunity to see that it's real.